is gaining a lot of steam online. Organizers are calling for a stimulus check. Over that number has signed this petition, and the person who wrote it out basically said they want a monthly check, $2,000 per adult every month, and then $1,000 per child every month. Now, here's a look at that stimulus petition that is gaining that steam. Again, over 2.5 million people signing it. And the person who organized it all basically says people are still struggling and unemployment is not enough.
There's a ton of commotion around the gas prices and gas tax holidays expiring. As a result, gas tax holidays are no longer here. And so it's time for the state governors to do their part and send out stimulus money. If you guys agree, tell me in the comments. And hopefully they do this, because right now, in the state of Florida, state average increased 17 cents a gallon per gas last week. It rose from $3.29 on October 31st to around $3.50 on Monday. Some Floridian families are set to receive a one-time stimulus check in order to help offset the impact of hot inflation. The governor announced that his administration is sending checks worth up to $450 per child to lower-income families in the state, and Florida is paying for the initiative by reallocating around $35 million that are received from President Biden's signature crisis relief package, the American Rescue Plan. So eligible recipients include foster parents, relatives, and even people that are needy families. Inflation has become a major political obstacle for President Biden, in which Democrats are expected to lose a thin majority. Now, one reason inflation has held its grip on the U.S. economy is that the government and American consumers continue to spend and seemingly undeterred by the price increases. According to economists, this is in fact fueling inflation. The combined impact of federal stimulus money and federal relief payments during the early months of the crisis, the soaring stock market that followed, and record low unemployment left consumers with flush in cash, prompting some to splurge on everything from homes to...
This week, with President Biden's 1.9
and the economy afloat. The efforts included increased unemployment benefits, loans to small businesses, and of course, cash directly to people's bank accounts. But how do American efforts stack up versus other countries? Are other governments giving their citizens more support?
They saw median incomes rise in April and May in response to the legislation as folks got that stimulus payment and got the increased unemployment insurance benefits into their savings. And of course, savings went up. So we actually saw an increase in income, which is sort of counterintuitive when you think about where the direction it should be going.
$700 in the fourth stimulus checks are here, everybody. There is some good news about the fourth stimulus payments that I want you to know. New payments have been approved, and hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people can expect to receive more money this year. Now, the deadline has passed for people in South Carolina to file state individual income tax returns for the year. And that means rebates totaling up to $700 are actually beginning to go out and sent at the end of the year. The South Carolina Department of Revenue Director has actually told reporters that we're on schedule to issue rebates by the end of the year. You must have filed your 2021 individual income tax return by October to be eligible for this money. It's free money too. To qualify for the rebate, applicants had to file their tax return by the deadline and have a tax liability for the rest of the year. So the maximum payment you can receive is actually pretty big. It's $700. And according to the state, when you're referring to this year's rebate, you're considered as having tax liability if you owe state individual income tax for the year 2021. The amount of your tax liability is determined by the amount of individual income that you owe, minus any credits. And everybody, the state lawmakers have approved the distribution of the tax rebates during a session in June, including it in a $13 billion budget bill. The rebates are projected to cost roughly $1 billion. And Joe Biden even said that new record on jobs with 10.3 million gained during his tenure is very good for the elections. Now, economic anxieties have compounded as the Fed has repeatedly hiked its benchmark interest rates again, everybody. That's due to lower inflation, everybody, and to possibly raise unemployment. However, mortgage costs have just soared upwards. Biden is asking voters again to look beyond this and look beyond current financial plan and say that what matters is the job gains that he believes his policies are creating is good.
If you are checking your bank account waiting for the latest stimulus payment to show up, you may be in luck this week. NBC 10 Responds is getting answers for people who are asking, where's my money? A viewer from Delaware County wrote to NBC 10 Responds with the question, where is the stimulus money for people on SSDI? That's Social Security Disability Insurance. According to the IRS, if you collect certain benefits, including SSDI, you may see the money starting today. The IRS says it received the data.
Folks, we got a ton of news about the fourth stimulus check, Social Security benefits, SSI, and SSDI. Continue watching this video because you don't want to miss out on it. There's a lot of big news in Congress on the future of stimulus checks and the future of the American people. Well, listen to this, everybody. Joe Biden took executive action and sent out direct relief payments to low-income people. 2 new bills have been put forward, and they both include stimulus payments. The last federal stimulus check went out again, but a large number of individual states are starting to come through with financial help for residents as record inflation just continues to increase over time. So the states that are paying your money, everybody, the states that are sending out the stimulus payments to the residents are states like this: Colorado, Delaware, Hawaii, Illinois, Indiana, New Jersey, and South Carolina, just to name a few. Many other states are also offering some more financial support for you guys. Folks, I also want you to know this: a substantial 2022 budget surplus is the focal point of a new bill in North Carolina. It will put money into your pocket. There's $6.5 billion at stake. Democratic lawmakers have suggested that you got to use it for $200 gas tax rebates for local taxpayers, just to help you combat the higher prices of fuel. However, some of the local bills are also pushing back, preferring to reduce state income tax rather than issue one-time checks. The Oregon Department of Revenue has also issued one-time stimulus of $600 to eligible
payments, meaning some people who received checks in December under former President Trump will not get them now. So individuals making more than $80,000 or couples making more than $160,000 won't receive a check. Now, according to one estimate, that's 7 million fewer families than in the original bill. Biden gave in to the demands that the relief should be narrowly targeted because he cannot afford to lose a single Democratic vote since no Republicans are expected to back the bill. Hoda and Savannah.
We have exciting news, everybody. Keep an eye out on your mailboxes because several states have announced that fourth stimulus checks will be sent out automatically this holiday season. Billions of dollars is actually going towards new relief programs, and it's all from President Biden and the Democrats. And even some Republicans have voted for the approval of a fourth stimulus check, so you want to be sure to continue watching this video. We got a ton of information to cover. So here is the exciting news. Checks will be sent this holiday season to many Americans. In the state of South Carolina, there are millions of people, in fact, who are set to receive a one-time check that can go up to $700. These checks are starting to roll out in a printed version, debit card, and direct deposit during the first days of November. They will continue rolling through the state in the end of 2022 and next year as well. The Department of Revenue broke the news in South Carolina, and a large portion of personal state income taxes are headed back to the state residents. But this will not be the only one giving taxpayers a good reason to check their mailbox and accounts. In Massachusetts,